You're welcome, Jehovah's Witnesses. You are welcome. On behalf of all of the YouTubers that make videos for Jehovah's Witnesses to help wake them up, we would like to say you're welcome, Jehovah's Witnesses. Now this unfortunately comes as a video that's offensive to the Jehovah's Witnesses community, just like any other YouTubers videos that they make trying to reach out and help their former brothers and sisters. It always comes to an offense. Jehovah's Witnesses feel like they're under attack, and it doesn't matter which way you present it. You could present it super subtly and super nice and just encouraging, almost like spoon feeding them baby food. Easy to digest, and here, open up, here comes the airplane. But it still offends them. And then you can kind of be arrogant and cocky when presenting your information to them, and that's going to offend them. It doesn't matter which way it's presented. There is no special way to present it that the Jehovah's Witnesses are going to appreciate. See, there's something that they have in common with a certain side of politics today. And that is, no matter what, your side has to win. No matter what, no matter how much corruption is unveiled to a Jehovah's Witness about their leaders, about their beliefs, about the things going on behind closed doors, about the things that are swept under the carpet, it doesn't matter. What matters is their side has to win. And that's exactly what politics is all about today. It's not about truth. It's about your side winning, no matter how corrupt it is, no matter what is unveiled. No matter what, people will stick to their side because their side has to win, because it's their club. That's my club you're talking about. Wah! But going back to what I was saying earlier about saying you are welcome, Jehovah's Witnesses, you are very, very welcome, because as offensive as anybody's video is that's trying to, with their hearts, their motives are pure, trying to help wake you up from your sleep. No matter how offensive it is, the one thing that we're doing for you that's the greatest favor for you as a Jehovah's Witness is this. You ready, you guys? Even for you that aren't Jehovah's Witnesses, if you're interested in knowing something about them, I'm going to share it. What a Jehovah's Witness needs more than anything is they need numbers. And what I mean by that is they turn in every month a record of how much time they have spent in witnessing to others about their faith. Now, what I mean by this is they have a very organized way and legalistic way of starting their time and ending their time. So let's say this, so you can understand it if you've never been. Jehovah's Witnesses and former Jehovah's Witnesses like myself totally know what I'm saying, but for you that don't understand, I'll let you know. So they have a legalistic way of okay, just kind of like, even legalistic like the way you do your taxes if you're self-employed. You find legalistic ways to claim certain things that seems like, wait a minute, can I really write that off on my taxes? But by law, technically, if you do it a certain way, you can. If that makes sense to you. There's people that go and eat a meal somewhere. They're self-employed, they go to a restaurant, let's say they spend $50 on a meal. Okay, tip included and all that. And then they keep the receipt. Now, if they had gone to that restaurant and brought one of their business cards and gave it to the waitress there and said, or the waiter, and said a little bit about their business, right? Oh, here's what I do, take my card. Well, now that lunch became a business expense, and technically they can write this lunch off because they were promoting their business and speaking business, right? So a Jehovah's Witness has a legalistic way of recording the time that they spend in witnessing to others. And one of the greatest things they have today, a tool to create big record numbers. Like their witnessing work is getting done even during times of like this, when things have been shut down, when they can't really go maybe from house to house like they once were able to, because these days people might not want strangers coming and knocking on their door due to the restrictions and the fears and all that stuff that exists. So what can a Jehovah's Witness do? They can watch YouTube videos created by former Jehovah's Witnesses, or even people that might know a little something about Jehovah's Witnesses when they never were a Jehovah's Witness in the first place. But they can watch those kinds of videos, and here's what they do. They can open up YouTube and type in Jehovah's Witness videos, exposing Jehovah's Witnesses, whatever they type in, and suddenly when those videos pop up and they start watching somebody's video, they can now look at their clock, see what time it is. Oh, it's 8 a.m. Okay, so my time starts now, because they're spending time watching the video, and then they're going to make sure that they actually make a comment on that video, and their comment counts as witnessing. Now, here's the thing. In their minds, the Jehovah's Witness mind, they are witnessing, and they are recording record-breaking numbers. They have statuses of different people that go in the witnessing work. Like if you hit a certain amount of hours, you get this kind of title. But if you get even more hours, now you get this kind of title. And then if you even get more hours than that, then you get this awesome special title, okay? Things like auxiliary pioneer, special pioneer, and such, okay? Pioneer. And if you're a Jehovah's Witness and they call you pioneer, oh man, you have been doing your witnessing work, your duties, and you're turning in a large amount of numbers every month to your religious leaders that are keeping track of how much time you are spending witnessing to people about your religious faith. So the Jehovah's Witness can sit today and binge watch hours and hours and hours of YouTube videos, never to actually learn anything from them, but always to refute, argue, try to win the argument by proving that their side is right no matter what. I teach things about Greek in the Bible, and it's amazing, or Hebrew, and it's amazing when a Jehovah's Witness watches my video, the things they come up with. And I remember those tactics because I was one of them at one time too. I just did a video recently talking about how Thomas in the Bible said to Jesus, my Lord and my God. You are, and in Greek it would literally be the Lord of me and the God of me. And when I do that, the Jehovah's Witness, they say, no, Jesus was saying, oh my God, Lord, is that you? You're risen from the dead? Oh my God. That's what they actually try to say. Oh my God, like, oh my God was an expression back then, like it is now here in America. People say, oh my God, all the time. Oh my God, oh my God. And then when you show the Jehovah's Witness that actually, if you look up the Greek Jehovah's Witness, you will see it doesn't say that Thomas said, oh my God, as an exclamation or some kind of American slang. When Jesus said, my God, why have you forsaken me? He wasn't saying, my God, as in like, oh my God, oh my God. No, he was saying, my God, God of me, God of me. Not, oh my God. Not my God, like is an exclamation, God of me, making it personal. You are my God, right? But the Jehovah's Witness, because their side has to win, they will always stick to things that their side tells them to say. Those excuses come from Watchtower leaders. They have everything for that verse. When Thomas looked to Jesus and said to him, Ho Kyrios, the Lord, right? Kai, mu, meaning of me, and ho theos, mu. Okay, so ho Kyrios, Kai, ho Kyrios mu, Kai. That's what it is. Ho Kyrios is the Lord, mu, of me. Kai is and. Ho theos mu, and the God of me. That's what Thomas said to Jesus. Now you prove that to a Jehovah's Witness. They see it with their own eyes. Do you know what they say? No, he looked at Jesus and said, my Lord. And then he looked up to the heavens and said, my God, looking to Jehovah up in the heavens. My Lord and my God. No, it says that Thomas said to him, not to them, to him, Jesus. See, that's the context. So then when you prove that to him, then they switch it. No. Actually, it's a slang. He was saying, oh my God, my Lord. Oh my God, it's you. Oh my God, it's you. You're back. They always have some ridiculous argument to support their religious leader's interpretation. And because they put up these ridiculous arguments and binge watch YouTube and all of that, they are actually doing something called recording time. Now, let me tell you something. This is something that I want to share with you so that you can actually help understand the mind of a Jehovah's Witness, and maybe it'll help you to know how to pray for them so you can be specific in your prayers. And maybe it'll help you to come up with some things to actually communicate with them about, but you need to understand the mind of a Jehovah's Witness. So when you see anybody, if you see anybody comment, whether you have a channel or somebody else's channel has something to do with Jehovah's Witnesses, and you see certain types of comments, many times they will pretend, Jehovah's Witnesses will pretend not to be a Jehovah's Witness. No, I'm not actually a Jehovah's Witness. I mean, I studied with them in the past and stuff like that. You know, I know a little bit, but no, they are the true religion. No, those are Jehovah's Witnesses lying to you. Maybe they're not the best Jehovah's Witness as far as they call them inactive and active. So if you're an inactive Jehovah's Witness, it means you're not producing the numbers that you're supposed to as far as time goes. So maybe these inactive, the ones that are considered inactive, now they binge watch the YouTube stuff and then they report these ridiculous, awesome amount of time like, wow, you're really becoming active now. Congratulations, good for you. Well, the thing is, you guys, what you have to understand is any Jehovah's Witness that watches videos that have any type of nature to do with their religious leaders or their religion and their beliefs, they are actually sinning as far as their religious beliefs go. They are forbidden to watch anything of this type of nature, these type of videos. They are not allowed to. They're not supposed to. It's forbidden by their religious leaders. If they reported to their religious leaders, hey, I watch former Jehovah Witness videos on YouTube all the time and make comments, they would be in big trouble. So they're never going to confess to their leaders that. See? So they sweep it under the rug. They hide it. They're doing it from their closet. They're never going to tell their leaders how they get their numbers in. So they're already sinning against their religious faith, which means, do they really have faith in their religion or not? Because if they're sinning against it willfully like that, knowingly, and then if they're religious leaders or elders, any of these guys that are higher up in rank than them, if they were to report to them these things, they know they'd be in big trouble. They'll never report it. They'll never be honest. So they're already showing that they truly don't believe in their religion 100%, right? Because they're breaking the rules, which means, listen, they believe that God Almighty, Jehovah, what they call him, that Jehovah God has approved of these religious leaders. They represent him on earth. And so if these men are approved by Jehovah and represent him, then what these men tell the Jehovah's Witness to do, they better do it. But when the Jehovah's Witnesses, like so many of them I know, I mean, family members I know, relatives, ex-friends of mine, all that, they all do this stuff. They're in it to impress each other. They're in it for the religious reasons. They're in it for people. They'll say, no, I'm not in it to impress the people. You hear it all the time by them. Oh, I'm not in it to impress people. I'm in it for Jehovah God. No, because if you really believe Jehovah God was watching you at all times, the way you confess that you believe, well, guess what? You would also know that he's watching, that you're binge watching YouTube and recording your time. So you're sinning. You're breaking the rules. You don't actually believe and have a personal relationship one-on-one And when I say you don't believe, I'm not saying you don't believe in the existence. I'm saying you don't put your trust and faith in your God. You don't. If you did, then you would actually do what your religious leaders say. I am not to watch YouTube videos with former Jehovah's Witnesses, because that's the worst sin, you guys, as a Jehovah's Witness. Listening to what they call apostates. Anybody that wants to speak the truth to them is an apostate. Anybody that was once a Jehovah's Witness that has received the truth about Jesus Christ, which causes them to make no other choice but to exit out of that false religion. When that happens to a person and then they share the truth with the Jehovah's Witness believes that that person is apostate. The worst title anybody could be branded by a Jehovah's Witness, right? For a Jehovah's Witness, apostasy is the worst. And now when they get on YouTube, they're listening to apostasy, but they're not listening to absorb and hear truth. They are listening so that they can argue and record time. If you get into an argument with Jehovah's Witnesses in the comment section, all you're doing is giving them more numbers so they can record, and they're going to come up with the most ridiculous arguments ever, you guys. And they will think that they have actually won that argument if you just stop responding. And they think that they win the arguments with me. If I ever comment back to a Jehovah's Witness and show them the truth, because they're wrong about something. Oh, well, actually, let me share with you what the Greek is. They won't listen to it. They won't say, whoa, you're right. No, they'll come up with a different argument, and they just want to keep it going. They want to keep it going so that they can record these numbers. And it'll always, no matter how many scriptures, I've said it before, I'll say again, no matter how many scriptures you show the Jehovah's Witness to prove the truth to them, right? No matter how many scriptures you show them, they will always resort to this. Well, we are the only religion that has restored the almighty name of God, which is Jehovah. And we are the only religious organization that doesn't celebrate holidays. We are a clean people. We refrain from pagan practices. They'll always resort to that. That's their last defense. And they still think, won that argument, even though you took scripture and proved to them how wrong they were. So if you want, you guys, lift them up in prayer. I hope this message has helped you to understand the Jehovah's Witness. And if a Jehovah's Witness is honest and they're watching this video and they haven't clicked off yet, hopefully they'll say, you know what, this dude's right. Not to prove me right, it's to prove Christ right. I stand up for truth and I believe in truth, and he is the truth. All right, you guys, love you. God bless you. Have a great one. See you next time.